Aita, a man in a dream facing a ferocious dragon, is woken up by Chiwa Harusaki, his boyhood best friend. She came to check if everything was fine as she heard the noise from his residence. As the evening approaches, Aita gets ready to prepare some food. Aita's kitchen supplies are nearly depleted, but Chiwa insists on accompanying him to the market. Aita reluctantly agrees, recognizing he has no choice. Chiwa comments on how Aita has changed recently and advises him to take a vacation from studying. Aita refuses to accept mediocrity as he has different purposes regarding studying and doesn't want to burden his aunt, Seiko. The next morning, Aita revises his daily reminders, which includes prioritizing studies, avoiding excessive love, and avoiding being mistaken for gayness. In the school, Kaoru, a classmate, mentions that Chiwa has been brought to the disciplinary office for causing a disturbance by loudly declaring her admiration for Aita. Aita dismisses this and questions Kaoru, why everyone seems obsessed with love. Kaoru claimed that people like Aita are uncommon and quickly questions Aita about his parents. Aita, who has hatred toward his parents, refuses to have any parents. Masuzu, the school's most popular and beautiful girl, approaches Aita after class and reveals her feelings for him. They compel each other to discuss their plans, and Masuzu reveals her motivation for her feelings for Aita. After seeing Aita's reaction, Masuzu pulled a notepad and resorted to blackmail and threatened to expose his stories unless he agreed to her intentions. On their journey home, Aita grudgingly consented to Masuzu's demand. Chiwa, as Aita's close childhood friend, is disappointed that she should have known about Aita and Masuzu's relationship. Masuzu introduces herself and proposes a date to Aita. Seeing them walk away together, Chiwa is filled with inexplicable feelings. Kaoru is surprised to learn that Aita is dating someone despite his anti-love stance. Aita expressed amazement and appreciation for Masuzu's daily hardships, which are the target of rumor and scrutiny. On their way home, Aita told Masuzu that Chiwa wanted to be popular at school. Masuzu asked Aita to bring Chiwa to her, and she promised to help. Aita brought Chiwa to a room where Masuzu told her own invented love tale to persuade Chiwa to befriend Sakagami, a third-year basketball player. Chiwa had to befriend Sakagami's brother and pretend to be a guitarist. However, their idea did not work out as planned, and Chiwa's performance with the guitar case resulted in bizarre motions. Masuzu questions Aita about his persistent presence around Chiwa, revealing that they had grown up together and lived next door to each other. Masuzu expected Chiwa to leave the club after their humiliating classroom incident. Chiwa surprises her by returning quietly, enjoying tea without melancholy. According to Aita, Chiwa will not leave the club until she achieves her goal. Aita told her Chiwa's story of a hip injury in middle school, and her recovery from it. She discovers something new to devote her heart to. Masuzu, determined not to let up, finds answers to her questions, but reminds Aita that he belonged to her. Masuzu recommends Chiwa to confess to Sakagami, as she believes he already knows things about her based on her previous behavior. Chiwa, initially hesitant, but later consents. Chiwa posts a letter on Sakagami's shoe locker, encouraging him to confess to her on the rooftop. Sakagami approached Chiwa watching the sunset. Sakagami begins to speak about what he heard about her previous deeds, which Chiwa finds intriguing. He then invites Chiwa to a movie together. Misuzu is delighted as they head back home. Aita's first love journal forms the basis of her plan. Chiwa expresses her genuine belief in Masuzu's journal, which is Aita's. Aita prepares food for supper to celebrate Chiwa's accomplishment. When Aita caught the side of Chiwa, he was surprised by her actions. Chiwa sobbed and called Aita a jerk. She raced out of his house. All of this was done to make Aita angry about her dating other men. As Chihiwa returns from the hospital after an accident, a flashback from their history. She is concerned about Aita's health, as his parents have recently divorced and left him to explore other relationships. They discuss their new aspirations when they start high school over dinner. Chihiwa plans to establish new goals, such as establishing new goals for kendo. Aita plans to study more and obtain good grades to gain admission to a medical university and become a doctor to treat Chihiwa's injuries. Chihiwa arrives at the arranged location before Sakagami. Eita thinks something is strange with their date, so he and Masuzu came to watch Chiwa's first date, but after hours of waiting, Sakagami never arrives. He is actually dating another woman near Chiwa, purposefully avoiding meeting her to trick her. Sakagami and his friends view Chiwa as nothing more than a stake, and they mock and degrade her without remorse. Eita goes to save Chiwa, who is beaten by Sakagami and his companions. Chiwa attacks Sakagami and his companions, then saves Eita. The next day, Masuzu kisses Eita, but she tells him to drink sewage water because he kissed her. An anonymous confession note is found in Chiwa's shoe locker, conveying admiration and a desire to rekindle their relationship. Chiwa is intrigued and tries to entice Eita away from the clubroom, but is accused by Masuzu of wanting to take her lover. Eita reveals another letter from the same person, urging him to accept their emotions and assure him of their unbreakable bond. Masuzu confronts Eita about his alleged crush on Chiwa and asks him to refrain from paying attention to other girls. Chiwa's mother requests Eita to look after Chiwa while she goes to work. Chiwa develops a fever and wakes up in her bedroom to find Eita there. She asks for his assistance in scrubbing her body, and despite her embarrassment, Eita complies. Eita then discovers a pair of chopsticks in Chiwa's chamber, which happen to be his. She admits to taking them without authorization. These chopsticks represent her most treasured memories, whether Eita had a girlfriend or fell in love with someone else. Chiwa goes to Eita's house the next morning and requests him to walk to school with her. Eita notices Masuzu by the shoe lockers at school and inquires about her well-being. Masuzu mocks him, recalling her growling loudly earlier while attempting to woo her partner. Another love letter is found in Eita's shoe locker, and the sender seeks a meeting on the rooftop as he reads the letter. Eita meets Kashino Himiko, a black-haired girl with a ponytail who is revealed to be Eita's previous romantic partner. Himiko embraces Eita, but Chiwa and Masuzu appear irritated by their appearance. Himiko stunned them, and Chiwa presented herself as Eita's childhood friend. Himiko was upset about Eita's relationship with another girl. Masuzu invited Himiko for tea to discuss Eita, and even considered inviting her to join the club. She insisted that her worry for Eita drove her to join the club, erasing any distinction. Masuzu then handed Himiko a notepad instructing her to write a poem about the type of maiden she wished to be if she wanted to join the club. Himiko passed out during the practical exam, and Chiwa, Masuzu, and Eita were assigned to clean the school as punishment. A black automobile appeared, and Mana, Masuzu's sister, jumped out. She apologized for their unsuccessful chat with their father. Mana abruptly grabbed Himiko's work and expressed interest in Masuzu's club, despite Eita's efforts to retrieve it. Mana's security pushed him away, and Mana chuckled at Himiko's childishness. Eita had enough and yelled at Mana to stop ridiculing people's fantasies. He believed that dreams provided an escape from the difficulties of reality. He was kept away by her security. Eita demands Mana apologize to Himiko, and Masuzu orders Mana to leave Eita and Himiko alone. Himiko expresses her desire to join the group with Masuzu and Chiwa, and she galvanizes her other club members. Himiko is accepted to the group. Eita is startled when he wakes up in the infirmary, discovers Himiko naked beside him. Himiko tries to calm it down. As they hear banging on the door, Himiko decides to walk outside to distract others. Eita tries to stop her, but the door has already been unlocked. Masuzu and Chiwa finally enter the infirmary after several fruitless attempts. Instead of finding Eita, they encounter Himiko, who is naked and tries to cover herself with a blanket. Masuzu inquires about Eita, and Himiko tries to explain that what they heard was the sound of the wind. Himiko admits to having a personal experience with her ex-boyfriend Eita. As summer break begins, Eita enrolls in a cram school, but he is placed in the same class as AI, making AI happy. Masuzu calls Eita to a place and discloses her plan to use AI to keep the club from being abolished, allowing their actions to continue. AI approaches Eita at a tutoring location, despite her Sunder temperament. On a sunny day, Eita and Masuzu sat together. Eita confirms AI's identity and a partner, but Masuzu is dissatisfied and insists on seeing AI's business partner. Eita encourages Masuzu to trust him, stating that continually doubting AI would result in no resolution. She apologizes and blames her lack of trust on her previous life as a pretender. The following day, Eita was asked to see the Han River fireworks display, but he refused. Kaoru offers them tickets to attend the Oreshura fight film, and they all agree to go together. Masuzu creates a scheme to discover AI's weakness during dinner with club members. She intends to use AI as a puppet to achieve their objectives. Masuzu includes Chiwa on a double date with Kaoru and Eita on a date with AI. Himiko hesitates to demonstrate her commitment to AI as her love mentor, but Masuzu assures her she doesn't have to. Eita and Chiwa are walking together when AI starts a conversation, and Chiwa becomes possessive when reminiscing about their kindergarten days. They are interrupted by Masuzu, who squandered a chance by failing to take shots in the movie theater. Eita notices a notebook in his backpack, which contains embarrassing written work. AI intervenes and stops him from opening it, but Eita borrows the notebook and rushes back into the room. Eita is taken aback by her reaction and leaves the room. Eita examines Ai and discovers she is sobbing uncontrollably. She is heartbroken, as Eita discovered her delusory poems in the notepad. Eita tries to reassure her by promising not to mock others' fantasies, and he even discloses his embarrassing daydreams to make her feel better. This act lifts her spirits. AI brings Eita to a remote location where they feel familiar, and they discover a large cedar tree with a spectacular fireworks display. Eita's mind is filled with memories of their kindergarten friendship and the eye. She recognized it when she transferred to high school. AI unexpectedly delivers Eita a marriage registration form they completed as children 10 years ago, and she admits to having a boyfriend. AI volunteers to help the club restart, realizing that classifying the club as dangerous was a mistake. AI and Chiwa have a poor relationship in the club room, and they often argue. Himiko begs Chiwa to stop yelling at AI, believing that AI can help them gain popularity. Masuzu agrees, pointing out that a wealthy and gorgeous boyfriend would make an outstanding coach. AI lies about being in a relationship to elicit a reaction. Masuzu encourages Eita to act as if she is asking AI out, but when Eita abandons her quest after being rejected, Eita becomes upset and warns him not to hide his emotions. Masuzu notices the problem and urges Eita to use his 100% pure fantasy from Concentrate pickup lines. Eita reluctantly agrees, and AI hugs Eita and discusses their relationship and their plans to marry after graduation. The other club members have a negative reaction. Masuzu asks AI to repeat the lines, and she agrees. Chiwa intervenes, causing Eita to tumble on the floor. Chiwa defends herself, claiming as Eita's childhood friend, gave the permission. AI admits that she too is Eita's childhood buddy, having known him since kindergarten. This news breaks Chiwa's heart. Eita requests permission from Masuzu to accompany Chiwa to the swimwear store. Masuzu agrees, admitting that Eita's childhood pals retain a special place in his heart. They meet the next day, Masuzu intervenes, and they decide that Eita will spend equal time with each other. They continue shopping. Eita notices Masuzu's stillness on the walk home and inquires about it. She admits that she feels left out as she doesn't remember him like the others. Eita reassures her and promises to make new memories with her. They notice Eita's Aunt Seiko approaching them, and they greet each other. Seiko surprises everyone by asking who Eita's lover is. Masuzu confidently identifies herself as his girlfriend, while Seiko reveals she is not referring to the false girlfriend. Himiko and Chiwa exchange shocked glances. They discuss their impending beach trip and how they plan to fund it. Seiko offers to enter a company-sponsored contest to win access to a health resort near the beach. Masuzu is rejected due to her experience as a video game producer and being identified as other personalities, including individuals who are in love. Seiko, Chiwa, and Himika test their love by answering questions on an app. The highest score is considered the most in love with Eita, and Masuzu's responses are so flawless that it seems as if she isn't in love at all. Seiko challenges Masuzu to participate in the contest and emphasizes that if she wins, she will identify as Eita's girlfriend. As they walk around the children's park, Seiko detects any insincerity and encourages them to work harder to win the contest. They pretend to be a couple on the train, but their club members can see through it. They enjoy a beautiful blue beach and engage in water sports. Eita is concerned about their friends' reactions to Masuzu, and Masuzu devises a scheme to fool their friends into thinking they are dating. Eita gives her the option to pull out, but he agrees to help. They plan to kiss each other goodnight before going to bed. When Masuzu, Chiwa, Ai, and Heimka play cards, Eita declares he is going to bed. Chiwa offers them a phone strap as a gift, and Chiwa plans to produce matching phone straps for everyone, which affects Eita, who was once a rival. Masuzu and Eita discuss their situation, considering resigning from the contest, but also considering the consequences. She pulls Eita's journal and shows him a section about becoming a doctor and healing Chiwa. Masuzu intends to let him go and return him to Chiwa once the journey is over. Mana and Mesus are on a club trip when they are accidentally hit by a woman riding a bicycle. Lana inquires about her sister, and Masuzu confesses to being a phony item for their father to flaunt to high society, but she fools herself into forgetting who she truly is. Lana informs Eita that she can say bizarre things, such as being tough, lovely, or cold. Eita doesn't think it's horrible, and Mana stands up for her sister. Himiko is terrified of performing on stage due to stage fear. Eita suggests she try something she enjoys to help her overcome her concerns. Himiko hugs Eita and tells him she loves him. She explains that since knowing him, she has changed and is now able to communicate with students, make friends, and even go to the beach. As they are being filmed and displayed on a monitor, Masuzu suddenly participates in a love confession festival. Eita rushes to stop Masuzu, but he appears just as she is about to expose the truth on stage. He then walked onto the stage and expressed his feelings to her. He adores Masuzu and is the only person Eita could be. Eita and Masuzu's relationship is overshadowed by the love confession. Masuzu is sitting on top of Eita the next morning acting affectionately. Seiko invites Eita out to discuss his current position. Seiko advises him to make everyone dislike him except his girlfriend. Eita tries but fails, first with Himiko and then Ai. Eita sees Chiwa standing on the balcony. He asks if she is angry about his relationship with Masuzu. Chiwa kisses him and declares her love. Masuzu enters and asks if she can join in. Eita is left conflicted.